for the Goodwell family.
Oh, but it's a sad, sad day for my poor family. We have known nothing but misfortune for 6 months. 6 long, miserable months. First, Paul lost his job down at the gas station. And if that wasn't bad enough, he tripped over the gasoline hose as he was leaving and broke both his legs. Ma helped out for a while by taking in ironing, but last month, the iron made a real loud cough. And then it melted, and now there's no money for a new one. I'm hungry! Me too! What's for supper?
Children, I know, but the cupboard is empty, completely bare. All you need is some boiled water.
But we have boiled water for lunch!
Breakfast. Oh, Pa, what are we gonna do?
Ma, darling, I don't know. I just don't know. And I'm afraid I haven't told you. There's more bad news.
Oh no! Not more misfortune for our poor, suffering family.
Yes, we must face the truth. It's better to look misfortune straight in the eye than to turn our backs on it.
What is it we have to look at now?
Well, the rent money was due yesterday, and we're already 3 months behind. I'm afraid that if we don't get it by tomorrow, well, I'm afraid.
No! Not that too.
Yes, that too. We're homeless. Out on the streets, all alone.
But it's only 3 degrees outside.
And it's snowing.
We can't live out there, we'll freeze!
Children, we must be brave. We have to look at the bright side of things.
The bright side? What's the bright side of this, Mom?
Well, despite it all, we still have each other. And no one can take that away from us.
Yes, things look bleak. And I won't even remind Mom and Pa about poor little Melissa. Brave little Melissa. My sister, you see, has lost her contact lenses, and now there's no money for new ones. And what's more, her teeth are crooked, and she has an overbite, but there's no money for braces.
It's not so bad not being able to see and having crooked teeth and an overbite and all.
Oh, Melissa, you're so brave.
Well, the important thing is to not start feeling sorry for myself. If I start to feel blue, I just count my blessings. Like you, for instance. I'm awful lucky to have a sister like you, Polly.
I'm Elizabeth.
Oh, sorry. It's hard to tell these things sometimes. Where is Polly, anyways?
No, that's a good question. Where is Polly?
I don't know, she went out several hours ago.
She said she was going to get a job. A job? Polly?
Wait, but that's impossible. She has a degree in American literature. She can't find a job.
Darling, anyone would be lucky to have a boy like Polly.
Yes, she is brilliant. She's talented.
She's beautiful.
She has the sweetest disposition on the face of this earth.
And she's kind.
And considerate. And loving.
And generous. But you keep forgetting. She can't type. Polly will find a job. I just know it.
She's our last hope. Only Polly can save us now.
Oh, Polly, you
Polly! Yes, and I've done it!
Done what?
I found a job! Yeah! Yay, Polly! Tell us, Polly, what are you going to be doing?
Here, take my coat and let me catch my breath. Well, it's not the best job in the world, keep that in mind.
Yes.
It's not the best paying in town,
Yes.
and it does have its drawbacks.
Yes, Polly, what are you going to be doing?
I'm gonna be teaching English at Michael Fillmore Junior High!
Crickets.
Polly, are you insane? Junior high? Haven't you heard about teaching junior high kids?
They
Ma, I brought us some oatmeal. Great value. And Melissa, mark my words. Someday I'll have enough money to get you new contact lenses and braces for your teeth. Oh, you're so brave.
What will we ever do without you? You saved us.
Scene 2. Two men enter Polly's life.
Run into that wall.
Ah, the room is ready. All it lacks is that beautiful creature, Miss Polly Goodwell. What a sweet young thing she is. I've had my eye on her for years, ever since I used phony credentials to become principal of this school. And now, she's going to be right here, in this building, right here, working for me, Principal Solomon Slime. I can hardly wait to set eyes on her again. I must find a way to get her into the teacher's lounge, alone. And then, perhaps I can find a way to hold her dainty little hands and touch her lovely hair and kiss her soft lips. I must compose myself. I think I hear her coming now. Was she coming?
Good morning, Mr. Slime.
Miss Polly, welcome to Michael Fillmore Junior High.
Well, I'm very grateful to be here.
I certainly hope so. I mean, of course. I just wanted to give you a personal welcome and let you know if there was anything I can do for you. Anything at all. Just let me know.
Mr. Slime, my students here at any moment.
Yes, of course. I almost forgot. I'd like to meet up with you after school in the teacher's lounge. Check up on how things have gone for your first day.
Well, I suppose I could do that.
Wonderful, it's a date.
A date?
There's the bell. I'll just stay a moment to introduce you to your first class. Boys and girls, I'd like to introduce you to your new teacher, Miss Polly Goodwell. I hope you'll treat her with all the respect you accorded your last teacher, Miss Carlson.
Mr. Slime, do you have the address for the hostel Miss Carlson's at? I'd like to write her.
It's somewhere close, a state facility, I believe.
I heard she ain't at a hospital. She's at a farm.
A farm?
Yeah, the funny farm.
Quiet now, that's enough. Miss Polly, I'll leave you to your duties. Good luck.
Thank you, sir. I think I'll need it. Well, boys and girls, the first thing I'll need to do is take roll. Please answer here when I call your name. Emily Winslow?
Here, Miss Polly, and might I say it's a pleasure having you today.
Why, thank you, Emily. Jill Rizzuto?
Present.
John Finley?
Oh yeah, John had an appointment, so he's not here.
Okay, no problem. Crash Fillmore? I guess Crash is absent.
Oh, no, she's here, Miss Polly. That's her.
Oh. Why did you answer here, Crash?
I didn't feel like it.
Oh, well, maybe you'll feel like it tomorrow. Are you even in this class? I Love Thee by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. I'm sure you will all love it as much as I. At first, I thought I would read it to you, and then we would all discuss the poem. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways.
1, 3, 7, 8, 20.
I love thee, depth, breadth, height. My soul can reach when feeling out of sight, for the ends of being ideal and grace. I love thee to the level of every day's most quiet need, by sun and candlelight. I love thee as men strive for right. I love thee as they turn freely from praise. I love thee with passion.
Passion.
Well, let me stop there, boys and girls, and let's discuss that much of the poem. So what did you think, boys and girls?
I thought it was beautiful, Miss Polly.
Good. How about you, Crash?
I hated it.
Hated it. Could you be a bit more specific?
I thought it stunk.
Oh, I see. Well, what did you think, Jill?
She was asleep, Miss Polly.
Oh. Well then.
Are we gonna have to do more poetry tomorrow?
No, as a matter of fact, I'd all like you to begin the research paper. I'd like each of you to bring 3x5 note cards. Class dismissed. Oh dear. It's gonna be just as bad as everyone said it was gonna be. Those kids just don't have any appreciation at all for this subject. Luckily, I have a planning period, so I'll get right to work preparing for the next class. What was that?
Sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean to scare you none.
Oh, that's quite all right. Are you the
Custodian, ma'am. My name is Delbert. Delbert R. Manley.
Well, how do you do, Mrs. Manley? Polly Goodwin.
Well, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Well, I'd better get going.
Oh, I better let you get back to your seat.
Well, I think my heart's done stopped beating. Why, she's the prettiest thing I've ever set my eyes on in my life. I can tell you one thing right now. Her room's going to be the prettiest one in the whole district. Do you know why? Because I'm going to be in here every chance I get just so I can rest my eyes on that sweet face of Miss Polly Goodwin.
Be reasonable, Polly. He says ain't. He uses bad grammar. He's obviously not educated. He's just a custodian. It's best to not get involved with the people you work with. Oh, what does it matter? He has those meltingly blue eyes, those strong, broad shoulders, that tall, muscular body. Why, the sight of that gorgeous man has given given me a new strength. Why, suddenly this poem has new meaning. Suddenly my life has new meaning. Why, I can do anything. Why, I can teach junior high.
Scene 3. Solomon's slime makes a shocking proposal.
Why, I survived my first day of teaching, and I'm still in one piece. Well, I deserve a Diet Pepsi.
While I'm pushed, this day's taking a load out of me. I need something to eat. Mighty nice to see you too.
Well, I was just gonna have a Diet Pepsi. Sponsored by Pepsi.
I was just gonna get a little something to eat.
Perhaps we should sit down.
Yeah.
So, how's work for you today?
Oh, just about the same as always.
Do you like your work?
Oh, it's alright, I guess. Except for cleaning toilets. I hate cleaning toilets.
Oh, I see.
Where are my manners? I must have forgot I was in the presence of a lady.
Oh, think nothing of it, really.
Miss Polly,
Yes.
would you,
Yes, Delbert.
would you like half of my ding dong?
Oh, Delbert, I love it.
What's this? The wretched Delbert R. Manley in the presence of the lovely and refined Miss Polly? Eating at the same table? Eating, in fact, from the same ding-dong? Delbert?
Yes, Mr. Slime.
I believe you're being paid to empty wastebaskets and wash blackboards, not to sit in the teacher's lounge and bother our teachers.
I'll take you.
From now on, take your breaks in the furnace room. Get out of here immediately.
But I asked him to sit down, and
No need to make excuses for the man, Miss Polly. I've had trouble with him before. Out! Forget him now. Let's talk about you.
me?
Yes. How was your first day of junior high?
Well, it went quite well, sir, considering.
Yes, it seems you're in good shape. Very good shape.
Well, I do find that teaching the children will be quite a challenge, but I have just found this new energy inside myself, and I believe and I know that I can do it and do it well.
I'm sure you will. I have great confidence in you. And now, I think we should celebrate the end of your first day and the beginning of your new career. Miss Polly, I'd like you to have dinner with me tonight.
Oh, why, Mr. Slime, I don't think it would be proper for a teacher to be seen at a public restaurant with her principal.
Oh, I wasn't thinking of a public restaurant. I thought we have a nice little intimate dinner at my apartment. I'll have wine and candles and soft music. I thought we'd get to know one another a little better.
What?
Oh, don't worry. You won't need to compromise your reputation.
Well, I would do none of that. I am a respected, honorable, virtuous young woman.
Does that mean you won't come to my place for dinner tonight?
I do not.
All right. You will have to marry me instead.
Oh my God. Mr. Slime, marry you? Have you gone mad?
Mad? Yes, mad about you. I've had my eye on you for years now. Now having you here working in the same building, I find I just can't contain myself any longer. I must have you, Miss Polly. I love you. I want you to be my wife.
I hardly know you.
We'll get better acquainted fast.
No.
All right. Let me put it this way. If you want to continue working at Michael Fillmore Junior High, you will marry me.
Mr. Slime, I can't believe you're saying these things.
I'm not only saying them, but I mean them. If you want to continue to have a job here, you must agree to be my wife. Marry me or lose your job, and then you and your family will be cast out onto the streets, homeless, with no food, no water. And think of poor little Melissa. Think of her going through life with no contact lenses and no braces for her teeth. It's all in your hands, Miss Polly. All in your precious little, beautiful hands. I must have your decision by 3 o'clock tomorrow. Do you understand?
I understand.
And I mean it. By 3 o'clock tomorrow, I want you to agree to be my wife. Think about it. Think about it very, very carefully. Till tomorrow, Miss Goodwell.
Oh dear. Dear. Whatever am I to do? How could I ever marry such a man as Solomon Slime? Especially when my heart belongs to another. Oh, Delbert! Delbert! My heart flutters just to think of those melting blue eyes, those strong, broad shoulders, that tall, muscular. But yet, I must think of my poor, miserable, suffering, starving family. Whatever can, I do. Whatever will, I do.
Scene 4. Polly makes a decision.
Wow.
She's over there.
Sorry. Polly, you're so quiet tonight. I'm sensing that something's wrong.
Wrong? What could possibly be wrong? It's teaching junior high, that's what's wrong. Not like you working there, Polly. Why, teaching junior high could be your ruin. You might be right, Father. What? I said it's the right thing for me to do, Father.
Something's definitely wrong here. Polly's not her usual cheerful, warm, loving self. What could be wrong?
Polly, I was
Over
wondering-
there!
Polly, I was wondering if you remember what you used to tell me when I was little.
Yes, I do, Melissa. Why?
Well, because I think you're feeling a little low yourself and you want to take some of your own advice.
Oh, I'm all right, Melissa.
Come on, repeat after me. Let a smile be your umbrella.
Oh, this is silly.
Come on, say it. Let a smile be your umbrella.
Let a smile be your umbrella.
Every cloud has a silver lining.
Every cloud has a silver lining.
Smile and the world smiles with you.
Smile and the world smiles with you.
See, don't you feel better already? Come on, everybody, all together now!
We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing.
Everyone they can see we're together as we walk on by. Hey! And we fly just like birds of a feather. I won't tell no lie. And all of the people look at us, they say, can they be that close? And I will stay forever. We're that a family does.
We are family.
I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, baby.
Melissa, are you all right?
I think so. Look at her mouth.
She's missing 2 of her teeth.
It seems I have no choice. If I don't work, Melissa won't ever be able to smile again. Little Melissa. Never being able to smile? Oh, I can't bear the thought. That settles it. I'll have to marry that despicable Solomon Slime. And I must forget Delbert. Those eyes, strong, broad shoulders, that tall, muscular body. Yes, I must forget him. I must put him out my mind completely. I must forget him. Forevermore.
This is hilarious. Here she comes. James Jeffrey.
Scene 5. Love conquers all.
You can.
must be strong. I've got to forget about that sneaky eyes, that oily hair, that evil grin, those disgusting hands. That man disgusts me. I must think of the baby who needs milk, children who need a roof over their heads, and poor little Melissa, who now needs new contact lenses, false teeth, and braces. Yes, I must be strong.
Why, Miss Polly. What's wrong here? Doesn't she see my meltingly blue eyes? Miss Polly, I came to share my ding-dong with you again. I know I'm supposed to eat in the furnace room, but I just wanted to see your face again.
You shouldn't have come here. You know Mr. Slime's the principal, and you should listen to him.
Miss Polly, something seems wrong here.
Yes, something is wrong. Something is bothering me. It's you. I don't want you here. I want you back in the furnace room where you belong.
Wow, something is fishy here. I think I'll just hide out to see what's going on.
Ah, there you are, my pretty, and right on time, too. Now, I must have your decision. Will it be a life of misery with your poor, suffering family, or a life of security and marriage to me, Solomon Slime?
I've decided that.
Yes?
I've decided that I will marry you, Mr. Slime.
Call me Solomon. You've made me the happiest man on earth. And now, we must seal this promise with a kiss.
No, your lips cannot touch mine. I can't bear the feel of your hands, the very smell of your breath, the very sight of you. I find you disgusting, Mr. Slime.
Perhaps you need a little time to get used to me?
No.
Well, aren't you the uppity one? I don't know what makes you think that you have the right to reject the advances of a desirable bachelor such as myself.
It's because another desirable bachelor has won my heart, and my heart will never, ever, ever belong to you.
That doesn't. I can handle your insults about my breath, and my hair, and my eyes. I can never bear the thought of you loving another man. If I can't have you, no one will.
Just what do you mean by that?
I mean exactly what I said. If I can't have you, no one will have you.
Mr. Slime, you just stay away from me.
Soon you're gonna find yourself tossed out a third-story window.
Why, Mr. Slime, that would be murder!
Yes, but who would believe it? A young teacher driven to jump toward death by the pressures of an impossible job. Oh, you'll garner a lot of sympathy, my dear. And no one will ever think it was me, Solomon Slime.
You stay away from me! No!
Here. Hold it right there, Mr. Slime.
Huh?
I couldn't let that monster touch one hair on your pretty head.
Oh, Delbert, you were wonderful.
There they are!
Boys and girls, just what in the world are you doing in the teacher's lounge of Michael Fillmore Junior High?
Miss Polly, we just had to find him. We just had to. I was in the library doing research for my paper on L-tryptophan on paramecium in a closed system. I'd hear my bibliography cards and my notes cards. Check them right now.
Emily, get on with the story.
Okay, well, anyways, when I was in the library, I found a newspaper. You'll never guess what it is. This, a picture of Solomon Slime.
Only it says he's an escaped convict. His real name, Salvador Scum. And he was convicted of murdering a social studies teacher in California. Way back in 1976.
Well, Emily, you did the right thing, but let me see that newspaper. Mom, Pop, just what in the world are you doing here in the teacher lounge of Michael Fillmore Junior High?
Elizabeth told us she heard you say that you planned to marry Solomon Slime.
We came to stop you. We can't let you marry that horrible man. We'll find some way to manage it without that.
I'm starting a newspaper route.
I'm collecting the little cans and all our dogs.
And how could we afford rent? That's not enough for that.
Well, the minister said we could take cover in the church basement for a while.
So don't waste your life on him. Don't give your life away to that Solomon Slime.
She won't have to. I'm afraid the blow to his head from my strong, muscular arms knocked him outright.
Does that mean we don't have a principal?
Nope, you have a man that can step into the job immediately.
We do?
Who?
Me, Delbert R. Manley.
Delbert, be serious. You can't be a principal of a junior high. You're only a custodian.
Very well educated custodian. Little did you know, I have a degree in comparative literature from Yale University.
What? Comparative literature?
And I also have a degree in educational administration in my spare time.
But then, why are you working as a custodian?
Haven't you heard of the state of the economy? Who gets a job as a custodian?
But your speech, the aims, the bad grammar.
Who would hire me if they knew my background? Take what you can get.
Wow. Those melting. God, those strong, broad shoulders, that tall, muscular body, and now brains too? Why, my heart can't stand so much happiness. But can a man like that ever take care of me?
Miss Polly, would you like to bring your cards now? Polly, please come with
I'm assuming active principal. Right now, and my first official act is ordering all of you out. And take that body with you. I'll have to consult with my staff privately. Before we so rudely interrupted.
You mean killing Mr. Slime? I mean,
No, I mean this. I loved you ever since you set foot in this school. Nothing can ever express the great love I have for you, except for maybe a poem. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways to love thee, to the depth and the breadth of height.
oh, Delbert, that's enough. I can't bear anymore. It's too beautiful.
Oh, Miss Polly, would you be mine?
Oh, Delbert, I've been here since you first stepped to my room with that mopping bucket.
Miss Polly, did you take a note cards now? Actually, maybe I should just take a few more notes here.
The end. Oh, fini. That was hilarious.
Noah!